Hello. Good morning, or Jesus, good afternoon, I guess. I am going around the clock lately and time.
I bet. Is your whole family going to Argentina with you or just you?
No, it was going to be just me, but my son, my eldest son, the one who just graduated high school, decided to come, which is really exciting for me and for my mom and for everyone. But it's causing a huge amount of headaches because, so I'm Argentinian, so I have dual citizenship, but, and so is my son. And I hadn't considered he was going to come. This wasn't a possibility a while ago. And so when I checked his passports, his American passports expired. His Argentinian is still fine. So now normally we leave here as Americans, we enter as Argentinians, we leave as Argentinian Americans. So now I have to figure out how to make him go all the way through as Argentinian, but on the way back, he won't have a visa to come in as an American. So there's an exception if the passport expired 6 months ago, which it did, within which he can still come in. And then the whole question is, will they let him? Because that's basically how it's going to work out.
Oh, wow.
It's expired within the range that if he's out in the world as an American, he's still allowed to use it to just come back. So I'm hoping it works because I tried everything. I spent hours trying to get through to the passport people. There's a way to expedite passports. I've had to do that in the past.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, they have very few appointments and there's no way to get through and all the appointments are taken. And so unless someone just died and you have like a morgue or a hospital thing,
Yeah.
There's no other emergency, right? So it's, yeah, I'll tell you when I get back if my son is left behind in Argentina or if he made it out or what happened.
Oh,
But
no.
2 days of just trying to figure it out. My 2 passports are fine, but I didn't even consider renewing his American passport. I don't know. So anyway,
Diana, did you try going to the main post office downtown?
yeah, so his passport needs to be taken out as a new one because he got it before he was 16. So when you renew it, they consider it a new passport because your face has changed, you're an adult now and all of that. So it's not renewable, it has to be redone. And that takes 10 to whatever, 12 weeks, but not, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not as, unfortunately, as simple. The only places I could do it would be in LA, San Diego, or San Francisco, and all 3 places don't have openings. So
Oh, wow.
basically it's just that little line that says if you're an American and your passport expired after March 2020, which his did, then you can still go home with that expired passport. So I'm hoping it works. I don't know. Bureaucracy is pretty crazy. Plus COVID test before and after quarantine, there are 7 days. It's intense, but we'll make it. We'll make it.
Oh, I have to sign in, don't I?
Yeah, so everyone go to the chat and sign in.
Chat.
So you guys, when this class ends next week, next Thursday, so we have today and 2 more, then I'll travel. And then when the new one starts, macOS level 2, I will be over there. So if anyone wants to hear the end of the story, sign up. Sign up for the next class. Actually, I won't have time to be in the midst telling people to sign up and stuff like that because I'll be in the air. So just so you know, if you want to take macOS level 2, please sign up. Telling you now. All right, and those of you who want to take Photoshop, I'm also teaching Photoshop, and it's the same days. It's like Mac was level 2, and then Photoshop Tuesdays and Thursday. So it's Tuesday, Thursday evening, afternoon, and evening that I'll be teaching from there for you Photoshop-ish people. All right. So thanks for signing in. I'm seeing a lot of you guys signing in. Please don't forget to go to the chat and put your name or say hi. You don't even need to put your name because I see your name. But what I need is something written in it to have your attendance. Okay. Yeah, so back to the trip. The hardest thing right now beyond the passport has been the fact that I'm trying on heavy winter clothes yesterday. Okay, so I've got 2 fans pointing at me, 2, one in front, one in the back, while I try on my heavy winter clothes that I did not wear this year, because guess where we were this year? in our homes with cozy, fuzzy slippers on my feet. So all my boots that I wear in winter, I don't know, my feet kind of splayed. They don't fit. I don't know what happened, but all the clothes I usually wear in winter doesn't fit. So yeah, it's kind of crazy because it's desperately cold winter there right now when I get there. Okay,
Do you go into Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires, yeah. So I am sharing my screen now. And this is the conversation we were having, and the homework that you guys had to do with cleaning up to start with your downloads folder. And then if you could move on to your desktop, those were the two that I requested that you clean up. And I requested that anything that you did not want should end up in the trash. Anything you did want should end up in the documents folder. And things that you did not know what to do with should sit there. And those we talk about, like, I don't know what this file is. Should it go or should it not go? So the things that you know, hopefully have been sent one way or the other. Now, we didn't practice the sending things one way or the other. So some of you guys, oh, I need to turn on this light that I now have a light so you can see me better. So if some of you guys didn't really figure out how to make that transition where things were sent to, it's not hitting me there, so that you know how to put things in the documents folder. We're going to practice more, and then today we're going to practice also creating those folders to hold those things. This right now I just said move things, right? Put them here, put them there. So now some feedback through the chat. Everyone in the chat, go and tell me, did you clean out your downloads folder? And did you clean out your desktop? Why yes, why not? Did you not know how? Yes, I did it all. I got rid of 500 things. I didn't do anything. Just give me an idea. It's okay, even if you did nothing, just give me an idea of what happened. Okay, so in the chat, go and give me some feedback on what you did. And if you did nothing right, I did nothing. I need to know that too, okay? And it's fine, you could have been busy, you could have been, had someone visiting, that had a life to live, just, right. Okay, I'm gonna answer one meanwhile. Susan's saying, refresh about DMG Adobe, please. DMG and Adobe sound to me are two different things. So .dmg and .dng.
It's on the
different things. And I wrote them in uppercase, so it's pretty clear about the M and the N, which is not so obvious. So what, you were trying to say something?
Yeah, there was about, I don't know, looked like about 15 something to do with Adobe from years ago.
So
and
those are probably DNGs?
DNG, yeah, maybe DNG.
So DMGs, let me explain. DMGs, MG is an installation file. Once installed, get rid of it, okay? So maybe you were installing the Adobe programs, in which case.
Okay, it says Adobe Flash installer .dmg.
Okay, so that was the Flash installer. Who else got the Flash Player installer? And the Flash Player is the kind of file that you might have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 of. I mean, it's one that you might have had a ton of.
There is about 25 to 30, right?
Yeah.
Oh
So the good news is the Flash Player, well, the good news, the Flash Player doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, good.
It
So
stopped like at the beginning of this year, right? But it's been for the last, I don't know, 10, 12 years of our life, a way for the browsers to play videos and to do animation. So the browsers needed it, and there were constant updates. And so if you were on the net, suddenly it would go, your Flash needs updating, say okay. A DMG would pop down it would self-install. So you kind of happen in the background, you never notice, but the little banana peel was left in your downloads. And most people, not knowing what to do, left them there. So you might have dates from 2012 on one of them. If you have 25, others from last year. So those are all the kind of things that occupy uselessly. It should be in the trash, and the trash should be emptied out. Okay, so any Flash player message you have now, the good news is that used to be something I could always count on telling people to look for. It stopped happening because that Flash player now is old software. So they stopped updating it. So you're not going to get those anymore, but there's still going to be people within the next few classes that I teach this who have a lot of those sitting there lurking from eons ago. So trash them all.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I love to get rid of trash.
I kind of wanted to make sure that is a Adobe raw image format. The reason I wanted to distinguish between DMG and DNG because Adobe has something called DNG, which is a type of photography that maybe one or two of you max in this class might have. If you're in my Photoshop class and you do raw photography, you might have DNGs, which are also Adobe. And that's why I wanted to be clear. DMG, on the other hand, is any installer. It just happens that you had the Adobe Flash Player, so it said Adobe DMG, and that's why I needed to clarify. But any installer, no matter what brand, would come in as a .dmg or as a .pkg, and both are to be trashed. Okay.
Could you give me the little trick when you've got about 25 in a row? What you hold down which key and then?
Yeah. So first, to select many in a row, click on the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold down Shift. Click on the last one.
Okay.
Like bookends.
I forgot that.
And then everything in between gets selected. Now, that works if everything is in a row. So if you were seeing things by kind and thus all of the DMGs appeared by kind, that works. But, and this is very important, this is something I was going to teach you today. So I'm writing it in here, but later I'm going to be, hold on, I saw Carol's question and got distracted. 1 second with your question, Carol. So when things are in a row, you hold down Shift. In a row, hold down Shift. Hold on. I'm making typos. To select things in a row, hold down Shift, okay? But to select things in random order, non-contiguous, hold down Command. So basically, you click on one thing, then you hold down Command, and then continue to click on other random items. So now we're going to practice this, okay? But I wanted to have it written down. So and I'm going to show you right now what I mean. So here is a Finder window that I'm opening up. Let me actually shift to share you just my Finder window. Okay, so if I want to select many things in a row, I click on the first one, hold down Shift and keep it held down and click on the last one, and everything in between gets selected. Okay, so it can be the bottom one that I click first, then hold down Shift, then the top one, everything gets selected. So that is everything in a row. But if I just wanted this one, hold down Command, keep holding it down, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I'm holding down Command. When I'm done, I let go. Okay, so say that all those go to the trash. Now I go to some selected area, it doesn't matter which, that's blue, and I right click and I send those to the, now I don't want to, these I can't send to the trash because they're applications, but let me go to my desktop, for example. If I wanted to send this, and I'm gonna hold down Command, whoops, Who's sharing their screen? Someone kind of started. Something weird happened there. Someone is sharing their. Oh, I'm sharing. I opened up a screenshot of me screen sharing, so I got confused because there was this, it was like a mirror thing, a screen share within a screen share, and I got kind of confused at what was happening. This is a screenshot of me sharing my screen, so I got confused. Okay, so click on this, click on this, click on this. What am I holding down now to do this? Command. How about here? What am I holding down now?
Shift.
Okay. And it doesn't matter the order. I can do this, command that, then this, then this. It doesn't matter. Same with shift. Hold down the bottom one, hold down shift, the top one, or shift, top one, bottom. Now, what am I doing in between to get rid of the selection? I'm clicking down neutral area. Okay, so I do this, this, this. I want to get rid of selection. I click in the neutral area right there, and it gets away the selection. So everyone try that. Click, click, click. And if you are not doing this, like you're just watching, that's not how we learn. How we learn is by doing, okay? So please try this.
May I ask a question?
I want to answer a quick question that's very important that Carol asked a second ago first before I take a new question. Hold on. Because I had talked about the Flash player and I said how you can get rid of it. But she wrote, I have a 2017 Flash player in my applications. So in your applications, if you see a Flash player right here, somewhere by the Fs, she says, do I get rid of it, right? And the answer is, I got rid of mine. It hasn't seemed to affected anything. I don't know if any browsers still might need it, but I have gotten rid of mine. As you can see, it's not here, Flash player, and nothing has been affected. So I think it's safe. It's been a year now. It's safe to get rid of it. Okay. So if you find the uploads, the DMGs would be in your downloads folder, and that's the ones I said for sure to get rid of. Those are the banana peels of the app, but the application itself, the one that keep being updated, would be here in your application. So if you have it here in your applications, that's one that you can get rid of. Yes.
Do I
All
just put it into the trash?
Yeah, that one just put into the trash. So I just wanted to, before I took another question, I wanted to answer that because that would be confusing for people. Leslie, I got your email. I was crazy, so I didn't get to answer you, but I heard you. I understand, and I'll do my best to keep supporting you. Okay, Donis, what was your question?
Oh, my question is, where are we doing this? I guess we're doing it in downloads.
My homework was that you do it for sure in downloads and ideally also on your desktop. So if you did or didn't do it on one or the other, do it on the one or the other that you did or didn't do. If you did all that and they're empty, then go to your documents where everything should be, and then just to practice, do it here. Someone has a lot of sounds in the background and I don't know who it is.
It's probably Donna's because I'm at Java Station because I don't have any.
Oh, got it. Yeah, it's true. You wrote that down. It is you. Okay, good. So
I'll mute myself.
when you're not talking, yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
and also it might be Debbie, because I've got an echo. I forgot how to turn off the sound on the MacBook Pro.
You know what? You don't have an echo actually, so it's not.
I
you.
hear one.
We don't, but if you want to know, go to the little mute icon, the one that looks like a microphone.
Mhm.
Go to the little tiny triangle that shows up to the right of that one and click
Yeah.
on that. And then right above that, two choices up, it says leave computer audio. So you can take the
Okay.
sound off of one of
I'll
them.
do that.
Okay. But I don't, you know what? I don't think, you know what? Hold on. I see you there twice and your second choice does not have sound. So you're already off on one of them. So don't take off the sound on the other, because right here, I can say that the one that says Debbie Ferry guest, you do not have the sound connected already. The one that you have the sound connected on is the one that's showing video. If you turn that one off, then I won't hear you or you won't hear me at all. So you're fine. From here, I can tell that your other one, whichever your other one is, the one that's not showing video, that one does not have sound. So we're fine. Let me look and see what you guys wrote about having gotten the homework done. Some cleaned out both. All cleaned out. Yay, I'm so happy. Did some, got rid of downloads. Not all my documents. Yeah, that's fine. Is it safe to delete right out of Recents? Good question. I'll talk about Recents today. So Vera is asking, I cleaned out my downloads, but not all my documents. And then she says, it is safe to delete right out of Recents. You might notice I have not explained Recents yet, so I will go explain. I believe it's probably, I want to say, yes, it's safe to delete from there, but I want to explain what Recents is because it's different. It's not like a room where your things are. I'll explain in a minute. So hang on to that explanation. I don't want to mix it up. I'm just reading what you guys said. Clean all the download document. It took forever to empty the trash in baby steps from so much stuff that you got rid of. Yes, when you start putting tons and tons and tons of stuff in your trash that are big files, once you do an empty trash, it just sits there going, because you basically had to bring a couple of truckloads to the dump. So it takes a long time because the computer processes the files and erases the information left behind of that file. So it has to go into different parts of the computer. So that means you're doing some heavy work. And I remember your computer was pretty full, Leon, so that's good. I have been busy with my trip and I have not yet, as you can see, I'm still at having only 123 gigabytes left. And let me show you how I know that, because I didn't show you this week. Last class we put on, see down at the bottom of your Finder window where we turned on the path bar and the status bar. Notice that down here it says 14 items, 123 gigabytes available on the iCloud. That's because my iCloud is where these documents are in this computer. So it's telling me how much I have left because I have 200 gigabytes on the iCloud, so I have a lot of space left. Versus if I go to my downloads, which we know is in my computer, see over here, it tells me Macintosh users downloads. I have 92 gigabytes available of 1,000. So I am running the risk of this computer. I mean, it is already giving me glitches and I know I have to spend some time cleaning it out and I hope I have time before I travel. It's driving me crazy. I have a lot of videos and photos that occupy humongous amounts of space. Okay. So that's what you can find out. So go to your downloads.
Diane, we can't see the bottom. I can't see the bottom of your screen, what you're talking about.
In my Finder here, I'm moving down to this area.
It's not, I can't see that on my screen. Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to you're viewing Diana Musacchio's screen, okay, up at the top where it says you're viewing Diana Musacchio's screen,
Yeah.
you can click on view options and there's an option of follow. I don't have it in front of me. What does it say? Follow my, I don't have that screen because I'm sharing. So what does it say? Can you read out the
Oh,
options?
here we go. View
New
options.
window, fit to window.
One is fit to window, but then it could get really small, but there's one that says follow the mouse or the cursor. What does it say? Can you read it out? What's that?
Follow presenter's point.
Follow presenter's point. So then if my mouse is here, you should see this. As my mouse goes up there, you should see that. So if you're seeing portions of it.
It wasn't the mouse, it was just the bottom of your screen that I could not see where it had downloads.
Oh, that I can't change.
Now I can see it because I fit.
Fit to screen, which is what Bill said.
100%. Now I can see it.
So if you need to see, if you only seen a portion of it, then yeah, fit to screen is a good idea. Now, if it gets too small, then you have to zoom it in to maybe 100% or something like that. And then your view will follow my mouse. And that's why I'm trying to always be careful where I put my mouse to make sure that you guys see it. So everyone go click on your downloads here on the sidebar and then look down at your status bar and it'll say how much is available, and whatever is available there, that's equivalent to when we found out how much space we had left on our computers. So do you remember when we went to the Apple storage and it told us if our computer was very full or very empty? That is that number. And look, it's changed. It said 92 a few minutes ago. Now it says 89. It's refreshing. So if I go now and go ahead and I'm going to share a different window as well. So if I just went to my, I need to put the spotlight on. Okay, so I just went to this window here. And if you go to storage, remember we did this at the beginning? Here it told you how much space you had left. So here it's telling me that I have 95 gigabytes available of 1 terabyte, and it's kind of rereading this. Notice down here, it's telling me that I have 88 gigabytes available. So it's a very similar number. It's just reading it, still calculating it. Okay. So used space is 9, I've got basically 900 gigabytes used, 100 gigabytes available. So that's very small. So this is a secondary place to see that same information in this status bar. Okay. So are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you remember this? This was Apple icon. You go to the Apple icon and say about this Mac, and this thing comes up. Okay, what we did at the very first day of all of our classes. From here, you go to storage. And under storage, it'll tell you what's available. Most of mine is grayed out because it belongs to the other user, my real me, that has all the stuff. This is just showing me the bit that I have here for teaching. So this here is where we are seeing how much space we have left. And now I'm going to close that window because I didn't necessarily want to go into that window. Actually, here, I'll put it behind. And then this window here, I'm showing you how if you select people who have their stuff on their computer, you can select desktop or documents, and it will also tell you what's on your computer. But for people who have everything in the cloud, the only one that will truly tell you what space you have in your computer would be downloads. Because remember, downloads are in your computer. Remember we went through that last class, that if you download it from the internet to your computer, it lives in your actual physical hard computer, okay? And you need to move it into the documents for it to go into the cloud. For those of you who have your stuff in your cloud, which is the majority of this class, there's about 4 of you whose stuff is still on their own computer. Bill, Carol, I'm trying to remember now, I think Lonnie, and there was one more person.
Susan.
Marie, Susan?
Marie.
Okay, and Marie, so about 5 of you. If you click on desktop and documents, you will see here that same number. But for the rest of you guys who are stuff is on the cloud, if you click on desktop, then it'll tell you how much space you have available of your cloud. Okay, so so desktop or documents will tell you how much space you have available on your cloud. All right, let me keep reading. Previously finished, got things to categorize. I have 2017 Flash Planner application. Okay, we did that. Made a lot of progress, not finished. That's fine. What about Intego Backup Assistant 2014 and applications? Okay, so if in your applications you have an Intego Backup Assistant, which if you are still using that application to do backups, that's okay, but I doubt it then that it would be the 2014 version. You should have been updating it. It tells me that you used it sometime in 2014, which is now, many computer years ago. That's ancient, and that you should, not in real life. Come on, 2014 to now is not that big of a deal. It's only, 7 years.
Well, it's only a few kilobytes. It's probably why I never bothered with it.
Exactly, but why have it? It's like having a shriveled old dried up banana peel hiding behind your couch. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. It doesn't occupy you much space. It's so dry by now, it probably doesn't even pick up flies or anything, but you don't need it. Get rid of anything you don't need.
Should I delete it or should I uninstall it and then delete the
If you have an
uninstall?
uninstaller, some applications come in uninstallers. Let me show you. There's some applications that if you click on them, there's like an uninstall, the Adobe Bridge here, for example, and you can click on that and it uninstalls it. And others, you just right click and move to trash. Okay. So if you try to right click and move to trash, something that comes with the computer, like the calculator comes with a computer. I tried to move it to trash. There's no choice. You can't move to trash. But if it's something that you had added, like brackets does not come with a computer, it's something I own for web design, then I can move that one to the trash. So Be Focused Pro, I can move to the trash. I installed it. Backgrounds for Zoom, I installed. I can move to trash. Automator is a Mac thing. I tried to right click, no, move to trash, see? So it doesn't let you get rid of the things that truly come with a computer and matter, all right? Including, I remember still from last class, someone wanted to know how to get rid of chess. Chess is a game. It can't necessarily be gotten rid of this way because it's part of the basic computer system. Okay, so did everyone, someone trying to say something? Or is it some background? I'm gonna mute Donis or ask you to mute that way in case it was Donis's. Did you say Starbucks? No, where did you say you were? Somewhere fun. Anyway,
Java Station.
Java Station, much better. All right, well, much better. Points of view, I don't want to be biased, but okay. Another find in my documents, AME command. So what do you mean by command, or is it extension name? .ame is what you're talking about, Vera?
Yes, .ame. It's
Okay. It got confusing when you said the word command. There are certain things that are commands, and I just wanted to make sure that.
No, it just says AME command. It's all stuck together
On where, in your downloads?
in the documents.
Oh, in your,
And there's another one says dynamic link server. It says it's a folder.
AME command, I'm Googling it. It's to send an action message to channels you're currently on a specific network, something about multiple channel messaging. If you have no idea what it is and how it showed up there, if it's in your documents, it's like for gaming. If it's in your documents, you can get rid of it. It's in your applications, you shouldn't get rid of it. Mine says 26 on the download, but on the Apple, it says 25 gig stored by. So if the number says 26 or 25 like that, that's fine. You know, they do general approximate calculations. I already showed you how my computer here is telling me that I have 88 gigs available, but my Finder is telling me I have 97. So that's like a whole 10 gigs of difference. That's how they calculate sizes and stuff. And that's why you don't want to be near the end, because calculations aren't precise. They are roundings. And so Yolanda said between 26 and 24, that's a very typical number that shows you two different numbers that are very similar. All right, mine doesn't show. Okay, EXE, remember you guys? Someone's asking what EXE and XLS is. Does anyone remember those two we explained? EXE is what?
Executable.
And what does it belong to?
Which belongs to the computer program.
Which type of computers?
Those I think you said were the the PCs.
Yes. So we clearly want to get rid of all EXEs. They are some leftover. Maybe when you change from being a Windows user to a Mac user and someone transferred your stuff. Or B, maybe at some point you right click and downloaded a program that was for Windows only and it downloaded, but it's not usable. So EXE is unusable. It is completely unusable. It is unusable. It's not something you can transfer. So you should trash those. And then the other question you had, one was, what is an EXE? And what was your other question? XLS. Okay, does anyone remember what XLS is? Talked about these and it's on the list that I sent you guys. What's that?
Spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Windows
in
spreadsheet.
particular, it's Office. It's an Office program that is the old version. The new version is XLSX. Okay, so if you have an XLS that was probably done before 2017 or something like that, don't have the right. Or if you still are using an old Office version, like if you're still using the old Office version, you would still be making XLS or DOC for docs. But if you have a newer Office version, then you're making XLSX or DOCX or PPTX. Okay. But it works just as well. You can open an XLS in Excel now, and it'll tell you, this is an older version. Do you want me to update it? And you go, yep. Okay. So if you update it, if you're opening it in an old program, it stays as XLS. And if you have an old version of XLS and someone sends you an XLSX from a new version, you can't open it. So you need to ask them to re-save it as an old XLS. Okay, so that's just versions and stuff like that. But okay. I have 0 in my documents. Okay, let's go see why that. Hold on, and then my Adobe application file says dc.app.
Yeah,
Can I delete it? I don't know what that is. DC.
yeah, it's just in my applications folder. And I don't know, it says Adobe Acrobat Reader
DC
DC.app.
What is the DC Universe Infinite? It's a fan first premium digital comic subscription. Apple Store. That's all I can see. All access DC app is DC Comics app. So it might be an app you downloaded at some point for that. So if that sounds
I don't
familiar,
need any comments.
it might be something that came in as a viral or something like that. I mean, it's real. But by the way, what I'm doing, you guys, I don't know. I know all of the very obvious and less obvious, but the ones that are cryptic, I just Google. I just go to Safari browser, whatever. I go to Google and I say, and I write dc.app and I look and see what shows up. Okay. Something else that someone said, and I look it up. And that's what you guys can do when I'm done. I won't be able to answer every one of your questions, but you do that. And if it's like DC Comics, I've never even opened a comic book. That's not definitely me. Delete it. If it's like, oh yeah, of course, that's something I do. I just didn't know I had an application for that. Then that means you did it on purpose and forgot that it was there.
When I sent it to the trash, it comes up and wants my password. So I sent it there. Put the password in. I still got everything in the trash, so I can look through there and see if anything there is, I shouldn't have deleted. So I got a lot of stuff in the trash.
Okay, that's good. Once we're
39.
sure that what's in the trash you don't need, we can empty trashes. I haven't had you guys empty trashes in case you change your mind about something yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now I still need to figure out why Donna's has 0 in her documents. Hold on, but I wanted to answer Julie. He said, what is a CSV? And a CSV is a spreadsheet. So it's you know how I said that TXT is text, but you can open it in Word or so, like the application. If you make an Excel sheet, you would open it and save it as an Excel file. But if you have a CSV, it would open in Excel also, or in any other program that opens spreadsheets, like Numbers, which is the Mac program for spreadsheets, or LibreOffice or other places like that. So CSV is a spreadsheet app. So if it's from 2010, this is a file, a spreadsheet that someone made in 2010, you haven't opened it since. When you hit the space bar and you open it up, do you see a little bit of what's in it?
Mhm.
What I mean by that when you have something that you want to see what it is, select it, hit the space bar, it opens up and you see kind of what's in it. Okay. So that's what I mean by hit the space bar, open it up, and it shows you a little bit of what's in it. So a CSV should show itself a little bit. All right.
I have one more question.
Okay.
I have in the documents file, it says modem setup .doc, and it's from 2003.
So what does it say again? What doc?
Modem setup.
Okay.
Setup.
From
Doc.
2003. All right. So it's probably instructions on how to set up your modem. And it's appropriately dated 2003 when we used to have modems to connect to the internet. Remember the beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, so I can delete that.
So if it's a DOC, it's a Word document that is probably instructions on how to do it. So yeah, delete it.
Move to trash. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now Leon had a good question, which you should send to everyone, not just to me, Leon, because right now you send it to me as a direct message and then people can't read the questions. And it's important that if it's a class question, everyone read it. Like someone saying they have a headache, fine, tell it to me in person. But if you have a file question, so he asked, why is my GarageBand and iMovie able to be trashed if it's an Apple app? So let me go back to applications. The applications that come as system applications are the ones that you can't trash. There's other ways of get rid of them, but it's much more complicated. But he's asking about iMovie and GarageBand. So when those are applications that don't just necessarily come, even though they're Apple apps, you have to install them yourself. And so it's interesting because I'm looking, I know mine are installed, but I'm going to them and here is iMovie. It's the app we use to edit videos. But if you right click, see, it can be trashed because it is actually something that can be installed or not installed at your choice. It doesn't like come with a computer. Same with Keynote comes. Let me explain. Keynote is a PowerPoint for the Mac. iMovie is a video editor for the Mac. These are file programs, Pages. These are programs that you can or not choose to have. This is Word for the Mac. It's called Pages. All of these you can install or uninstall at will.
I never installed any of these.
They know they come with your computer, but you could say, well, I don't ever want to make music, which is what GarageBand is, and get rid of it. But there are others that are more like part of the system, like reminders or stuff. The other stuff that's usually on the dock, that's the stuff that usually is, unthrowable, outable, so to say. I do not know why they make or how they make the choice. Apple decides what is part of the system. For the most part, if it comes in the dock, the ones that just kind of come here to the left, they're all part of what's considered the system and can't be gotten rid of. Numbers, Keynote, and Pages, these three that are here in the dock. Oh, I'm showing them in the dock and you guys can't see my dock, but Keynote, Pages, and let me share my whole screen now. Okay, so this down here is my, every time I change screen, it goes into a drawing. Okay, so Numbers, Keynotes, and Pages. These three are the equivalent of Office. So this is Excel for the Mac, and on the Mac, this is Keynote is PowerPoint, and this is Word. Okay, so they come. Some years ago, you had to buy them separately. Now they come. So if your computer was purchased and your system was purchased before, I don't know at this point, before 2012, I believe you had to buy these separately. But ever since, I believe Yosemite, and I don't remember what year Yosemite is anymore from, they're part of the operating system. So, so you don't need to buy them separately. They come with your computer, but you can choose not to use them and uninstall them. That's why they can be moved to the trash. Okay. But I'm getting a little bit into the details here that are maybe less important. Let me see if there's any other big question. Oh, there you go. And then your next one was Numbers and Pages, and it's the same answer. Okay.
I just put it up there since you said I didn't give it to
No, exactly. I just saw another question. I went to see it and saw it was exactly what I had spoken about. So yes.
Grammatically correct. I should have put are able, not is.
That's fine. Okay, whenever we do texting or chatting, we're all excused by with typos. The world of texting and chatting and typos is just how it is.
Thank you.
All right, so that seems to have exhausted the initial questions that you all have. So now I want to figure out what's up when Donna says that she doesn't have anything in her documents. Let me, you said documents, right? Or download documents. So Donna's, wasn't yours a new computer? No. And I'm going to stop my share for a minute. So do you remember having things in your computer like that you've made, not that you just use it for the internet or something, but you've written letters or you know, like files that you would own? Because if not, your documents is okay to have it be empty. But if you do know that you have files that you've created, or then it should be there. What do you use?
My daughter gave me the computer. Oh God.
That's all right.
I'm waiting for a doctor's call, so I'll come back on. Okay.
Okay. All right. So
hello.
Oh, I'm gonna mute you. Please, there we go. She muted herself. All right, guys. Leon cleaned up his apps as well. Good. I don't want you guys yet to get rid of anything that's a Mac app. I mean, in the sense that I'll be teaching you, you know,
I would
you might
get rid
say,
of any Mac apps, no
Yeah.
Mac.
yeah. So say that I tell you, use your reminders and you go, or use your calendar and you go, well, I don't use it. So I got rid of it, which there is a roundabout way to get rid of it. You know, I'll be teaching you how to use these apps over the next class in macOS level 2. So you'll be able to see more of how useful they are. Right now, just things like people are finding these weird things from 2003. Those are the kind of things. Mac Keeper backups. Okay, so are you doing backups in any other, so this is Vera's question. Are you doing backups in any which way or form, Vera?
Not that I know of. This was from 2019.
That's not, I mean, the app itself is not so old. I'm just saying whether if you're aware, because you might have downloaded something to do backups. Can you share your screen so I can see it? Just to see if it's still valid or valuable. There are other applications that do backups that people might be using. There isn't necessarily, I don't necessarily recommend it. So hold on, I need to make my window bigger to see. MacKeeper backups. When you open it up, okay, it's a folder. And then when you click on the one that's underneath, how to look up. So click on that one and then hit your space bar so we can, it's an explanation. Oh, you put that in there. That was from yesterday. You put it inside of that folder, it seems.
Doesn't belong there.
Yeah, no, MacPeaker, no, it's not, it's fine. No, you didn't put it in. You're actually hit the space bar again. You don't need to close that. You can hit the space bar again to bring it down. So it's not in there, it's in the same level. So that's a folder that's empty. That's an empty folder. So clearly it's an empty folder, 0 bytes in it. You can get rid of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so is everyone ready to start practicing? Once again, we're going to practice again how to move things that we want or don't want into the documents folder. And then we're going to start practicing how to actually create a system to hold all the stuff that we move. By doing this, you might have discovered what kind of things you actually I just noticed that I was beginning to boil and for some reason my fan had turned off. My dog stepped on the wire. There we go. I have a fan pointed straight at me. And suddenly it wasn't there anymore. All right. So I'm gonna share my Finder window again. Here we go. All right. So hopefully people have seen the before and after of how many gigabytes they use. Did anyone notice a big difference in how much space was used in your computer after doing all this work? Like if you're aware of the before and after, I don't know that I told you, I might have not told you to write down the number of what you had so that you could now compare after you trash stuff. But my computer, see, that's the issue. See, okay, did you see how it says your computer is running out of system memory? Did you see that message that flashed on me? Are you seeing it now?
No.
You can't see that message. This is
No.
not ideal, but let me see if I can share this window with you. I am getting this memory, this thing, your system has run out of application memory. You see that? Do you see this right now?
No.
No,
It didn't change.
no.
Let me change. Oh, see, it's not even letting me.
There.
Yeah,
So see this?
yeah.
I have nothing open. I only have Zoom open. I guess I have preview here, and yet my computer is telling me that it's running out of application memory. That's what I mean about my computer being desperate. I have barely anything open, and it's telling me you can't run this computer anymore. Okay, that's
Wow.
because I have only 100 gigs out of 1,000 left. So this is the problem, and it's asking me to quit anything. I have nothing else to quit. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to maybe have to, I'm going to stop sharing to start with, because sharing uses a lot of space for a minute here. And let's see if that cleans itself out. And I'm going to see if perchance I don't get that message anymore. I don't. So that's what I mean about beginning to have problems. Now you saw it. I'm getting that message all the time. I need to sit and deal with that. So if you guys see that, that's because you have too much stuff on your computer and you need to empty it out. So the best thing you can do now before we continue is empty your trash. So if you have a lot of stuff in your trash, it's time to empty it out. So I'm going to share my screen so you see how I do that. And over here on the trash, I can open it by clicking on trash. And you guys might have 100 or 200 things here, who knows at this point. And just if you're clear that you put them all in there, you're fine with what you have, then let's just hit this empty and everything will empty out. We discovered the other day that if there were things you didn't know, you might want to just click one at a time and just empty, delete immediately only the one thing. I'm going to get rid of everything. So I'm going to say empty, and I'm going to empty that trash to help my computer a little bit out. Okay. And that might help me a bit. I don't know, but I'm hoping it. Oh yeah, look at that. Now it says I have 124 gigs available. Oh no, that's my cloud. It still says 89 gigs available. So what I got rid of was probably 1 gig's worth, but it's all helps a little bit. And sometimes it little things. Donis, yes, no problem. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to share just the little window again and hope I don't get that same message. Here we go. So I've been showing you guys how to view things using this view where you expand and collapse. Remember, expand and collapse, and then you expand again or expand again. And inside you could have things that are already opened or not. So remember that? Have you practiced that? Oh, I'm getting the application memory thing again. So hopefully I can keep, I might need to restart. We'll see. If it lets me keep teaching, I'll keep teaching. But if at any point I just drop, stay in the class. I'm gonna have to do a cleanup and a reset of my Finder, and then I can, I'll connect again. So you guys just sit there or take a break, do a 15. If I disconnect, let's do this. If I get disconnected, let's call it that 15-minute break, because it'll it might take me about that much to get set up again if I restart my computer and then I connect to the class. But you guys don't disconnect, okay? Clear on that?
Yes, I have a question. Did you say go ahead and empty our trash?
Yes, I said, go ahead. I mean, as long as you've been putting things that you trust are worth putting in, because putting things in the trash is just moving them to another folder. It's like you moved all the junk you don't want to your garage. Well, now your garage is full. And not until you actually put them in the dump or take them to the thrift store or donate them, they're not out of your house, right? So that's what emptying into the trash means. It means actually getting rid of the stuff.
Okay.
That's when you'll see a difference in the gigs available. All right.
Okay.
So guys, let's see this. Let's go and click. I told you guys not to get rid of the downloads, class files to download from the downloads. Remember that? I wanted everyone to have that in here. So does everyone, if you go to your downloads, still see the folder called class files to download?
Right.
Now, later on, I'm happy to entertain questions from people who did not yet empty out their downloads or did not yet empty out their desktop because they, didn't know. Hopefully I gave you a lot of time to do it already, but if you still didn't want to tell me why you didn't do it, I can help you a bit more one-on-one at the end of the class. But right now, I'm hoping that if you asked your questions, you asked them. And if you didn't ask them, then that's because it's done, it's finished. That said, I know there's people out there who didn't do it, who chose to not speak up. But if you have questions, then please ask me. All right. So now select class files to download. Just select like that. It can be closed or open, it doesn't matter. I want to show you another way of seeing files. So let me remind you, if you collapse or expand the class files to download, it says family files, hierarchy top level. If you have one of these open already from before, then when you open the big class files to download, that open one will show up already opened up. If you hadn't opened it up before, then you might not, then they'll be closed. Okay, so that is all kind of in one window, you see everything. On top of that, see, remember putting your mouse on this area where you get to see more. So if you're seeing truncated names, then you can go ahead and expand, putting your mouse between the words name and size. When you get double-headed arrow, you expand to see all the names, okay? You can also see what kind of information they are and what date we are. So there's a lot of information here, but you need to keep expanding and closing to seeing all the levels. And this was me expanding each one of the levels of the hierarchy, right? Right there. When you open one, you see one, you open the other, you see the other, third, fourth, fifth. So you can see everything at once. I really like this mode on a personal level. I use this mode a lot. For some reason, I found it a bit harder for people to understand. And so in teaching at school, I have always used the third choice right here. So I'm gonna click on that choice. And this is the way to see files that I have taught people to do. So when you first click on, I'm gonna close the hierarchy top level. When you first click on downloads this way, everything is closed. But once you've opened a bunch of stuff and you open more things and you open more things, it can get kind of messy. You're seeing everything at once. You have to scroll up and down, especially if you open miscellaneous files to be organized, or if you open travel, you have to go up and down to see everything, and it gets really long, right? I like it because I just scroll up and down and I see it, but when you have thousands of things, this can get really long. So plan B is to choose this mode, which is columns. Now, everyone switch to this column mode. So click back, downloads right here. Click on that again so that you're out of any internal stuff you're in. Click on the word downloads just to clean things up. And then click on this third choice, the columns choice. Is everyone with me? Do you know what I'm asking you to do? Any questions? Okay. So in the columns mode, things work a bit differently. If you still have a lot of stuff in your downloads, you'll see other stuff. But if you only have the class files that ask you to leave, click on class files to download. Notice that this time, the second column shows me what's inside. Remember how before we had to expand for it to show us underneath?
Yep.
Now, what's inside of class files shows up in the second column. When I want to see what's inside of the family files example, I click on family files example. Oh, I have dad, daughter, and mom. Remember?
Yep.
From last. When I click on hierarchy top level, it just shows me second level. Why? Because the other stuff was inside of that. So then if I click on family files examples and I click dad, right there, it shows me health, taxes, and work. Notice that as I keep going to the right, this is beginning to disappear. Files to download is beginning to disappear. Now I'm going to click on taxes and I see taxes 2021, 22, and see how now I keep having more work, and I go to clients, and by now this here is disappearing. So this is where the Mac mouse or the iPad comes, because I have moved to in the Mac mouse, you can move to the right or to the left, which the typical PC mouse does not let you do that. The typical PC mouse, you can only go up and down in the scroll. So if you have a Mac mouse, you can move sideways with your finger as well, not just up and down. So if you follow this path, class files to download, family files, dad, work, clients, by now you've gotten so many that you need to go right and left, right and left. Anyone who cannot do this because they don't have a Mac mouse, then you would have a scroll bar down here that you need to go grab and then move right or left, which is much harder to do, I think, than to just scroll right or left. This is one of those Now, once Bill corrected me, there are PC mice that you can buy that allow you to go right or left. You need to make sure you buy a PC mouse that allows you to do that. It's not the typical PC mouse that lets you do that. Now, if you are on a trackpad, you know, if this is your iPad, then remember it's 2 fingers, right or left, to scroll up or down, or right and left, 2 fingers. See how I'm putting, you know, my little window, you can see 2 fingers going in and out, going right or left. Okay, so that's how you scroll. And if it's a mouse, and this one isn't connected right now, but you move 1 finger, right or left. I had it connected to my other Mac, so it's not going there, but I'm just showing you on the Mac mouse. If you have one of the old mice, these little connected mice, then it's this little teeny button that's there. That's your scroll back and forth. Okay, that's the kind of mouse that we used to have, that with cables, that some of you might still have. All right, any questions about that that I'm showing you right now? No? Yes?
Yeah, I have a question. I have a pad,
Mhm.
but I don't seem to be able to move back and forth with in this particular program.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to move back and forth if you don't have anything to hide. So say that my window got so big, I keep stretching my window, right?
Oh, okay.
And there's nowhere to go. If I
Yeah.
click on that, I click on where, see, I am seeing everything. There is nowhere to go. See how now nothing moves?
Yeah. Oh,
But
okay.
it's,
Now it works. Yeah.
okay. I'm really kind of, instead, if your window is small, there's somewhere to go. Does that make sense, guys?
Right.
I'm pretty sure there should be some questions here about for someone for whom it is or isn't working. Either that or I'm such a great teacher that you, or I'm such a bad teacher that I've lost you all. So any questions? Well, Al did have a question, so I'm not saying there are no questions, but.
I don't find it very easy.
What's that?
I don't find it very easy to go between them.
Okay, so go between as in, to
Go back and forth to the left and right and expand the little telescope. I can do it, but it's difficult.
you have a laptop?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 fingers to the right or to the left, does that not necessarily work for you? You need to have something else open. Right now, I'm in class files to download. Nothing else is selected, so even I go right or left, there's nowhere to go. I would need to open something that has something inside of it for there to be somewhere to go, right? So you have to keep opening things that have more
Right.
ones inside for this to make any sense, to be able to go back and forth.
I can do that.
Do you want? I'm gonna
I can
stop
do
my
that.
share. My computer's,
No, I can do that.
so I need to stop my share. 'Cause my computer's yelling at me.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
I have a question,
Yes.
Debbie.
Yep.
When I was trying to do that and I wanted to make another folder, like say I needed a new category, sometimes when I right click, it's one of my choices, make a folder, and sometimes it's not. I mean, it's,
Okay, so it depends on, now we're gonna start making folders. So let me go into, it depends on where you're clicking, okay?
okay.
If everyone knows how to move in and out in this mode, I have taught you how to do it the other mode. So this time I want to kind of maybe continue doing it in this mode, but see, my computer's, yeah, you guys, my computer is really not happy. Yeah, let me see, what time is it? Is it time for a break? It is.
2:35.
It's pretty much time for a break. So how about I just give us all a break? I try to reset my computer, and then when we join us, we'll begin to create all that structure, the folders, the question Debbie's having, and how you guys can begin to put these things somewhere. And you can choose either to view things in columns or by list, and it'll work either way. Okay, so let me see what time. It's 2:36, so let's be back at be back at 2:50. Is that 15 minutes? 2:51. Am I getting that right?
2:51, yeah.
Be back at 2:51 or something. It's not letting me write. That's how bad it is. Okay, let's take a break. If per chance, as I said, my connection is going to disconnect, you guys stay connected and I'll get connected again. If for any reason you find that you've been kicked out of the class, reconnect at 2:51. Okay, in case for some reason when I do the disconnect, it actually closes the actual whole class, just as a warning, then go ahead and sign in again and I'll let you in again at 2:51. Okay, otherwise hopefully it'll keep going. All right, see you guys soonish. Okay, so just as a warning, in order to do this, it will kick you out. Just so you know, those who are listening, you will have to reconnect. So just be disconnected and reconnect again at 2:50, okay? I'm having to end this course. I'll have to reconnect. Okay, bye.